So do you know how to define property objects in SQL in 8 different ways? It's nothing but DDL, which is data definition language. It is a subset of SQL that deals with the definition and the modification of the database schema and the structure. DDL commands are used to create, modify, delete the database objects such as table, indexes, view, database themselves. However, an overview of the key DDL commands are in following 8 ways. Starting with first one is create. Used to create a new database, table, view, index, or other database objects such as stored procedures or functions. Syntax is very simple. Create object and the object name. For example, if I want to create database, I will just write create database and the database name, and list goes so on. The second one is alter. This is used to modify the structure of an existing database object, such as adding, deleting, or modifying column in the existing table. What is the syntax? Alter object, object name, add object column, and the data types. For example, if I want to add a column, what you will do, you will just write alter table name and then add a column name and the data type. It will add that specific column into that table. Now the third one is drop. This is used to delete the object from the database. Make sure that you are very much aware when you are dropping something from the database. The syntax is very simple: drop table and the table name. Similarly, you can drop database, not recommended in production, but drop database, database name will drop your database from your server. Truncate. The fourth one is a truncate, which is used to remove all the records from the table, including all the space allocated for that record that is getting removed. Truncate syntax is very simple. Truncate table and the table name. It will truncate. It will not only drop the table, it will also remove the allocated space from its RAM. Now the fifth one is rename. Now the rename is used to rename an existing object in the database. The syntax is very simple. Rename table, current name to new name. Now the sixth one is comment. This is very simple, used to add a comment to the data dictionary. Add a comment on the table, table name is comment. Very simple syntax. Now the seventh one is create an index. This is used to create index on the table. Now we will have a separate topic where we will understand what is the index. For a time being, consider the index is something like index of whenever you have a new book, you first go through the index where you want to go. Similarly, database can have its own index where whenever he wants to retrieve a data, it will first search the index and then go to the actual data page, right? But we'll cover more on the index. But the syntax for the index is create an index and the index name for that specific table. Similarly, the last one is drop index that you can perform, which is a drop index and index name. Very simple syntax. Now remember that the exact syntax can be very slightly depend on the specific SQL dialect that you are being used. For example, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and Oracle, right? It's important to refer to the documentation of that specific database that you are working with for precise syntax, for additional option that they can also added into those commands. Now the example which we have provided in these reels are applied for Microsoft SQL Server.